How's it been going, guys? Welcome to another reaction video here. I am ACA Guenter. Hope you guys are well. Today we're going to be doing another Nostalgia Critic. Yes, this is the third movie in a row, the third reaction in a row in which I do a Jim Carrey film. This is a very shorter reaction. This is only like a 7-minute video, if that. So in this video here, Doug talks about 1996, The Cable Guy, and why does everyone hate The Cable Guy? I have seen this film. It's definitely one of Jim's darker films, and I do think it's like a really good film. I think it's really funny. So today we're going to be doing this one. It's definitely a different kind of film than what normally you would get from Jim Carrey, but I do think it's alright. So I hope you are well today. So like I said, last week we did 2 of them. I think the next one I'm going to do, I think it's Truman Show. I think Truman Show's next, because I've already done Dumb and Dumber and I've already done Liar Liar. So I think it's Truman Show next. So I've got a bit sweaty. Don't know why. I've got, one, it's hot in my room, and 2, it's yeah, it's weird. So yeah, we're gonna get on with this video, guys. Why does everyone hate The Cable Guy? 3, 2, 1, let's go. Well, it would work if I put the my headphones on. Sorry about that. Let's go.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy. Remember it so you don't have to. Jim Carrey has gone through a lot of ups and downs in his career, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has.
Some big hits and cult favorites, while also some big bombs and forgettable projects.
Oh yeah, Mr. Popper's Penguins is shit.
But people forget early on there was a movie many thought would ruin his career. And that movie, kinda strangely enough, was Cable Guy. It's amazing the amount of hate this film got. Both critics of Jim Carrey and fans as well saw this as one of his biggest blunders. It's too dark, many people said. It's just not the typical Jim Carrey thing. The film didn't even really bomb, but the hatred from it was so massive that several see it as a giant failure. Luckily, he made Liar Liar immediately after, and his status was right back on track.
Yeah, do check out my review of Liar Liar. Like I said, I've already done Liar Liar, so do check that review out, guys, if you haven't.
But years after its release, I have to ask the question, is it really deserving of so much hate? The film, in case you don't know, is about a cable repairman played by Carrey who befriends a client played by Matthew Broderick. When Carrey gets too clingy and Broderick tries to break the friendship off, Carrey obsesses over him and does all the typical stalker tropes you'd expect him to see, driving Broderick mad. At the time, people weren't used to seeing Carrey in such a villainous role. I mean, okay, he did Riddler, but that movie was about as dark as a Care Bears episode.
Yeah. I'm gonna say it again. Do check out my review. I did it last Thursday.
Car, right? Chicks love the car.
This was the first time we saw him in dark shadows, gloomy backdrops, and creepy glowing eyes. He was still goofy with a not surprisingly over-the-top lisp, but people said they just found it too jarring for Carrey to be in this role. Funny, seeing how Carrey would do much darker roles in the future, getting both critical and audience praise.
Yeah.
The film was also a hard hit for its director, Ben Stiller, who just had his show canceled, got panned for doing the movie, and shortly after would get grilled for directing Zoolander. Yeah, there was a time where even this movie was despised.
Yeah, now people love Zoolander, but people don't like the sequel. So, yeah, I do agree with what Doug's saying here about the film. It did have a weird premise, but I thought it was alright. I'd probably give it, maybe on a scale of 1 to 10, probably maybe like a 6. It's definitely not one of Jim Carrey's greatest films, but it's definitely not one of his worst.
Partly because of the controversy involving erasing the World Trade Center from the film shortly after 9/11. Nowadays, though, who even remembers that? We just see it now as a funny movie. It even has a sequel coming out. Since then, though, Stiller has happily gotten some pretty big hits. He even directed a film that got an Academy Award nomination. Which is why I ask now, if we're more forgiving of strange humor and dark tones, is it possible Cable Guy isn't really that bad? It just came out at the wrong time? I mean, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't be shocked if you didn't like the film. Carrey's voice can get a little annoying, not all the jokes work, and it's not exactly a comic masterpiece. But I think there is more to this movie than people are giving it credit for. First of all, it centers around torturing Matthew Broderick. Immediately a great setup.
Poor Matthew Broderick. Good actor. But God, he's at some stinkers. Like, the only films I remember him in watching as a kid was Inspector Gadget and Godzilla.
Second, the idea of an awkward stalker like this back then might not have been seen as so mainstream. Once in a while I come across a person who said, "Oh yeah, I love that movie. I've known a few clingy people like that." But for most, they claim that Carrie was just acting too weird to even understand what he was doing. Now, with the...
I remember that. I did find that a bit quite funny when I was going to go down the stairs.
internet, online stalking, and people getting emotional for even the tiniest thing, look back on this guy.
Yeah, it's like a fucking definition of bloody Reddit.
Don't you think you might have seen someone like this before? He's obsessed over TV from the past, he thinks life is one big show, he has a problem with boundaries. Yeah, with the social media, we've all come across this guy now.
Yeah, I've even come across similar people in my workplace where you're trying to work and they're trying to talk to you, be your friend and stuff, but they get a little bit too close. I've had that in my work. Yeah, it's not great. It's not great. No.
Every day we see arguments and accusations from people who seem in their own sheltered world, one that's clearly not a part of reality. If you just replace cable guy with guy who never leaves the YouTube comment section, suddenly this makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? Thus, you can now see where the humor is coming from. Most awkward people online talk tough but hide behind the mother's skirt of ambiguity.
Yep. Or what I like to call keyboard warriors, or social justice warriors. But if you try and confront the majority of them in real life, they'll cower in fear, or they will not turn up, or will never be in a real fight. It's just the way society is these days.
Here, it's funny to imagine if that one guy didn't just like weird stuff, but was actually desperate enough to devote his entire life to you. Come on, you know that one person you speculated about? The one that was just a little too clingy? Isn't it funny to imagine they're doing creepy stuff like letting spiders crawl across their face, infiltrating your family, or donning disguises to follow you? You don't think they'd really do it, in fact they could actually be nice people. But admit it, it's funny to think how far someone being socially awkward can go.
Yeah, because I will admit, I am quite socially awkward. And that is because I am... Well, all you guys, if you watch my video, should already know that I'm autistic. I am socially awkward. Like at work, I can kind of, when I'm at work talking to people, I can kind of put a front on a little bit. And some people be like, "Well, if you're autistic, that means you have to be socially awkward." I am socially awkward. Some of the things I come out with at work, I absolutely make my bosses piss themselves. Some of the things I come out with are absolutely hilarious to my bosses anyway. So that's a good positive, isn't it?
It's like an Office Space. We all know that uncomfortable stapler guy. He's weird, but you try to tell yourself he's harmless. That just makes it even funnier when he says he's gonna do something insane like burn down the building. It's one of the movie's most memorable lines from one of its most memorable characters. The awkward creepy person has also been used for comedy in Pitch Perfect, Key and Peele, There's Something About Mary, and several others. So yeah, it seems more and more we're understanding that these people do exist. To what extent? Well, that's where the comedy comes in. We like to imagine and push it further and further than what's probably more realistic. But that's what comedy's all about. So
just Jim's running that. That's funny. That's just Jim Carrey being... Just Jim being Jim.
now that we have a better understanding years later not only how many of these kinds of people there are, but this film's intention to mockingly poke fun of them, is it possible that it was just misunderstood? I'm not saying you have to like the film. As I said before, there's perfectly sound reasons to find it kind of annoying at times. But the arguments given in the past of it either being too dark or too weird doesn't seem to hold up anymore. We have opened up to the darker stuff, and we have become more aware of strange, clingy people in our everyday lives.
Yeah,
Knowing this now, a lot of this is a lot funnier than you may remember. And compared to other things today, it's not even really that dark. Yeah, it's got some heavy shadows and weird shots, but the story itself, is it really that intense when you compare it to other dark comedies? Perhaps much like Zoolander, if we're willing to relax and just accept the bizarreness of this scenario, especially now understanding the context more, there can be a pretty clever comedy. Watch it again this time and don't take it too seriously. The idea is, wouldn't it be funny if the social shut-in you knew could do such over-the-top lengths? Not that he actually is. It's an exaggeration, like a lot of great comedy. And it's definitely worth giving another chance. Yeah, it's still odd and not every joke gets a laugh, but it deserves to be judged again with the more updated knowledge of its subject matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't say or do anything shocking. It's just a funny film about extremes. At its heart, it's just a dumb, goofy comedy, but it's a clever, dumb, goofy comedy. And one you can probably go back, rewatch, and proudly say to yourself, hey, this isn't too dark for me.
Jim's face there, low.
I'm a Nostalgia Critic guy, remember? So you don't have to.
Yeah. So yeah, that's from Nostalgia Critic. That's actually quite a short video. So yeah, whilst that was playing towards the end, I did get Wikipedia up. So Cable Guy had a budget of $47 million and it made 102. So it did make its money back. I'm just seeing, what did it get in Rotten Tomatoes? I think it was round, I'm going to say around the 50 mark, I'd say, if I could guess. Cable Guy, I'd say around 50. Yeah, I was right, 56. Ready? Popcorn meter, so that's normal people, 250,000 plus reactions, 51%, the split right down the middle. Yeah, so I do think it's a decent film. I do like it. I love Jim Carrey, and it's definitely a weird one. So I would recommend, if you like dark comedies, that kind of stuff, do check it out, guys. So, alright then, guys, that will be it for this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button, don't forget to subscribe if you are new. The next one I'm going to be doing is, it's not going to be Lie or Lie because I've already done it. I'm going to do the Truman Show, Nostalgia Critic, and then you're going to get one more reaction video off me, and then next week I am going on hiatus. I'm taking a week off. So don't forget, guys, every 5 weeks I'm taking a week off. So my hiatus week, or my break week, is next week. So, alright then, guys, I will see you on Thursday for the Truman Show. So until then, have a good one, look after yourself, I'll see you in a bit. Peace, bye.